The advent of the Portuguese in India was a significant event in world history, marking the beginning of European colonialism in Asia. It was led by the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama, who arrived in India in 1498. Below is a detailed account of their arrival, expansion, and impact on Indian history. 1. Background: the Age of Exploration. The late 15th century saw European nations like Portugal and Spain exploring new sea routes to trade with Asia. The Ottoman Empire controlled land routes to the east, making spices and other goods expensive. Portugal, under the leadership of Prince Henry the Navigator, started exploring the African coast to find a direct sea route to India. In 1488, Bartolomeo Dias discovered the Cape of Good Hope at the southern tip of Africa, proving a sea route to India was possible. Second Vasco da Gama's voyage, 1497 to 1499. Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer, set sail from Lisbon on July 8, 1497 with 4 ships. He sailed around Africa's Cape of Good Hope and reached the Indian city of Calicut, now Kozhikode, Kerala, on May 20, 1498. He was welcomed by the Hindu ruler Zamorin of Calicut, but tensions arose due to competition from Arab traders. Despite difficulties, he managed to trade for spices and returned to Portugal in 1499 with valuable cargo. Third, establishment of Portuguese power in India, A.A., Second Expedition, 1500. Pedro Alvares Cabral. Pedro Alvares Cabral led a fleet and arrived in Calicut in 1500. Due to conflicts with Arab merchants, he moved to Cochin and established the first Portuguese factory. This marked the beginning of Portuguese commercial interests in India. B. Vasco da Gama's second voyage, 1502. He returned to India in 1502 with a stronger fleet. He used force against the Zamorin of Calicut and demanded a monopoly over the spice trade. The Portuguese established their dominance along the Malabar coast. C. Francisco de Almeida, first viceroy, 1505 to 1509. The Portuguese crown appointed Francisco de Almeida as the first viceroy of India. His policy was Blue Water Policy, which aimed to control the Indian Ocean and prevent Muslim Arab traders from dominating trade. He defeated a combined fleet of the Egyptians, Arabs, and Gujarat Sultanate in the Battle of Diu, 1509, securing Portuguese naval supremacy. D. Afonso de Albuquerque, 1509 to 1515. Expansion of Portuguese rule. Afonso de Albuquerque succeeded Almeida and is considered the architect of Portuguese power in India. He captured Goa in 1510, making it the first European colony in India. He encouraged marriage between Portuguese men and Indian women to strengthen Portuguese influence. He conquered Malacca, 1511, and Hormuz, 1515, securing vital trade routes. Under him, Goa became the headquarters of the Portuguese in India. Fourth, Portuguese control and trade, 16th to 18th century. The Portuguese dominated Indian Ocean trade, controlling key ports like Goa, Diu, Daman, and Cochin. They established factories, trading posts, in Bengal, Orissa, and Gujarat. They monopolized the spice trade, exporting black pepper, cloves, nutmeg, and cinnamon to Europe. Portuguese missionaries like St. Francis Xavier spread Christianity in coastal regions. Goa became a major religious and cultural center, with churches, convents, and educational institutions. 5. Decline of Portuguese power. A. Mughal and Indian resistance. The Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan attacked Portuguese settlements in Bengal and captured Hooghly in 1632. The Marathas, under Shivaji, attacked and weakened Portuguese rule in Goa. Local rulers increasingly opposed Portuguese dominance. B. Rise of Dutch, English, and French. The Dutch, 1602, English 1608, and French 1668 arrived in India. The Dutch ousted the Portuguese from Ceylon, Sri Lanka, and Malacca. The English East India Company and Dutch East India Company gradually overpowered Portuguese trade. C. Loss of influence. By the late 17th century, the Portuguese controlled only Goa, Daman, and Diu. Their monopoly on Indian trade was broken. The Marathas defeated the Portuguese in several battles, weakening their control. Sixth, end of Portuguese rule in India. Even though their influence declined, the Portuguese held Goa, Daman, and Diu until the 20th century. In 1961, the Indian government, under Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, launched Operation Vijay and annexed Goa, Daman, and Diu into India.